Well, this week's hometown hero lives in Shawano. He served in the Navy during Vietnam. He also helped out at NASA. His time away, though, from his wife was longer than they had both expected. Local 5's Michelle McCormack tells us how their love endured.
I loved standing lookouts. I could tell you stories.
Really, you loved it?
Oh, I did.
It seems tedious and tiring.
Is there anything in the Navy that's not tedious and tiring? I mean, unless you're working on the flight deck.
Navy veteran Skip Robertson served on the USS Hornet between 1966 and 1970, including 2 tours in Vietnamese waters during the war.
So I was watching the radar, keeping track of everything within a mile. And some of those places, there's a lot of ships and boats and things within a mile. You know, we had one incident where I was able to save a pilot because I had tracked him on radar and we were able to figure out where he was. He had gone down. And I was pleased to be able to do that.
The Hornet was also called into action for NASA to retrieve the astronauts who had splashed back down to Earth.
We were all looking forward to having the summer in California and relaxing, and then they told us, 6 weeks, you're out of here. And we were sent down to recover Apollo 11. And we were glad to get it done and glad to get home, and we did such a good job, they told us we could get Apollo 12 as well.
You can see the place where he worked if you go to San Francisco, where the Hornet is now a floating museum, which he did in 2019 for the 50th anniversary to reenact his historic message.
They found a chair for me to sit in and put me at the desk where I sat during that, and I repeated those famous words. Houston, Hawaii, this is Hornet, we have Apollo on board. And our kids were just excited. Both of our sons and one of our daughters and some of our grandkids were there.
He has kept many mementos from his time in service, including a medal recognizing the recovery of an American plane shot down by the North Koreans in 1969.
We were in a secret situation.
It was yet another time when his wife, a nurse back home in Wisconsin, would learn from news reports on the radio that he wouldn't be coming back as soon as they had hoped.
And that the lead ship, it was being led into the Sea of Japan by the CVS 12. And I went, oh my gosh, that's Hornet. He's not supposed to be going there. He's supposed to be coming home. And so it's a good thing my parents were around. They talked me off the cliff.
When he did get home, he used the GI Bill to study education at UW-Oshkosh.
I was very proud to wear my old jacket, my pea jacket with my insignia on the side and all that, and never ran into any hassle. I was proud of my service and glad to have served. And the takeaway from being in the Navy is that I grew up.
Of all the medals and mementos, can there be anything more precious than the letters that Skip and Patsy wrote to each other, including a marriage proposal and then writing to her dad to ask for his blessing?
I want to wait until I can afford marriage, which will not be until I make third-class petty officer.
First of all, in answer to your question, marrying Patsy, you have my permission and blessing. Where there is a will, there is a way. I don't want this to sound like a sermon, but I will always remember what my Army nurse Sunday school teacher taught me years ago. When things look the worst and all your troubles pile up, count your blessings.
Skip hopes by telling his story, people will appreciate that it's not just about the service member, but the family that serves right along with them. I'm Michelle McCormack, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Michelle. Apollo 11 was the first human spaceflight to land on the moon. If you can believe this, the splashdown happened 55 years ago this month.